Hi there, this is Suj, and thanks for coming by to my channel. So yeah, this is a channel where essentially I upload videos, and so far it's been more tech-based, but here we have something slightly different. This is a book that was actually online while I was looking for video game vinyl. It's called A Handheld History. It's a very nicely made book, very well illustrated, and just, yeah, so nice to hold. It really caught my eye because I absolutely love and have always loved handheld consoles. I mean, I've had home consoles for sure, and I've played them and they've been fantastic. But when you have these, it's literally like you're in your own world anywhere you go. Like on the bus, I used to take them on holiday as well, and no matter where I was, there was something about playing these gaming consoles when you were abroad, when you were in holiday, even in sunlight. For some reason, just playing these was still fun and good. I was sitting on a coast once in Spain just playing WarioWare random disc soundtracks for some reason. I still remember that. That was quite fun. But yeah, this is a whole exhaustive kind of handheld history of how these handheld consoles did, what they were, and it just introduces you to something and maybe even allows you to discover something you haven't seen before. So yeah, I'll just have a look at the back. So this is written by quite a lot of different YouTubers you might know. So there are blogs from, well, articles rather from different ones that you may recognize. Ashens I definitely recognize because he used to do all these little reviews of knockoff Chinese consoles mainly that I used to watch. But he also does reviews over different food items. And he still has a signature brown sofa, which I think is pretty cool. There's also Wolf from Wolf Den, who goes into a lot of these kind of, from what I've seen recently, more kind of emulation consoles from China recently that have been really, really, really good. There's also Jason Bradbury, who was part of Gadget Show, which I watched a lot on TV through the years, and I absolutely loved that show. It was great. It just got me really energized and into the mood for seeing more gadgets that I can purchase at one point. Then there's also Larry Bonney Jr., who does his own thing as well. He reviews various, I guess, more kind of little oddities in a way, but yeah, he seems to know Ashton's quite well as well, and they do collaborations and have done collaborations, which has been quite good. So yeah, onwards. So I have actually had a look inside this already, so I'll just remove the band for the second time, but yeah, here it is. So the cover's really lovely. I mean, you can see it already, and you have looked at it already, and probably spotted a few things that you've seen already. But for me, the first one that I ever played was the Game Gear, which is a bit of an odd one, really, because a lot of people will have played the Game Boy, the original Game Boy, first of all. But that wasn't me, unfortunately. I started off with the Game Gear, and yeah, it was very different from the Game Boy. It was so hungry on battery. Literally, I had six AA batteries, which I put inside of this console, and it lasted a grand amount. And this is on non-rechargeable batteries of around 2 hours. So not very efficient. It was really a good idea to have a power adapter basically with that one. Then there's other ones which I had an absolute blast with, like the DS as well. Very nice. PSP around the same time. Nintendo Switch, obviously. The lesser known but fantastic Neo Geo Pocket. On the back, you've also got a whole bunch of different consoles, which I've also played as well. So you got the PS Vita, which I spent some time with. I really liked Wipeout 2048 on this, as you can see by my Wipeouts models over here. Yeah, absolutely love Wipeout. Wipeout 2048 was really brilliant on this, but yeah, we'll get into that later. Analog Pocket, you can play many different cartridges inside of this. Anything you really want. It's got a ridiculously high resolution screen as well to basically replicate how those screens looked using shaders, which is quite nice. You got the Playdate up here, which is hand cranking. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm still waiting for my one of those actually, but they look pretty nice as well. And obviously my favorite at the moment, which is my Steam Deck. Yeah, absolutely love this thing so far. So let's get into the inside of it now. Hope that wasn't too long. So here's what it looks like in terms of the sort of chaptering and how it is. Basically, you have something for everybody here, and there's a lot to have a look at. Many lovingly crafted articles here. The ones that caught my eye personally were the more kind of, I guess I did want to know about Game & Watch very much, but also PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Vita, and yeah, Game Boy Advance as well. that kind of thing. So yeah, the forward of this is written by Jason Bradbury, who basically is part of the Gadget Show. Not anymore, but he was for a while. I watched that show quite a lot. That's quite cool. So yeah, an actual article looks a bit like this. So you got all these different illustrations. They look absolutely beautifully drawn. There's some really nice photos, and they show you everything about, well, each console here. For example, they'll give you flavors of what different colors there were. Yeah, and on some other articles you might see, let's have a look here. Everything's through really low. Yeah, I've also got these different, yeah, see through here, nice one. Yeah, so I'm trying to find those cartridges. Yes, 2DS over there. Yeah, showing you just kind of gives you the idea, really. But yeah, you can see different cartridges and different accessories and things, like, for example, the Game Boy camera. So yeah, it's very exhaustive. It shows a history of essentially each console. It's not going to be massively, exhaustively historical articles. It's going to be history mixed with memories as well. So there's a lot of stories with this, and a lot of personal retrospectives and things. For example, like you got 3DS retrospectives of different games that were played, different articles which describe different things about it. One of my ones that I quite liked was this one, actually, which was basically the times when the Game Boy didn't have, believe it or not, handhelds didn't have color, any kind of backlight on their screens. So you had to find light sources. And in the car, basically, should I turn the light on? Should I not turn the light on? Will it distract the driver? That kind of thing. It was quite fun. And things like that did genuinely happen. And they were finding kind of interesting ways of dealing with it. This is one that I'm pretty sure everyone had. But that was quite cool. But yeah, you have a whole bunch of different things here, and literally it's just so lovingly crafted. You get to learn stuff that you didn't know about various consoles as well. For example, the PS Vita is one that I absolutely really love, and unfortunately it didn't really get there in the end. It wasn't sold for too long, just a few years before, it was probably discontinued essentially. But even to this day, communities still keep this alive, this console, because they love it so much for emulation and whatnot. My personal memory of this was, as I say, Wipeout 2048. You can see by these models over here how much I love those games. I don't know if I mentioned that already in this video, but I'll mention it again. And yeah, there was a lot of talk about RPGs, it being really good for RPGs. And I never really played RPGs because I'm not really a big RPG person. But yeah, this is apparently really good for that. Things like Persona 4, I think it was. Yeah. But yeah, you've got all these different articles, and yeah, it's just really cool. If you love handheld consoles, I really would highly recommend you do look at this and consider picking it up. It's really, really good. So yeah, hopefully that's been a good first look at this book over here, Handheld History. Thanks for stopping by and listening to me waffle on about it and just tell you more about it. And yeah, have a great morning, great afternoon, evening or night, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.